exhaustion, confusion, blocked up sinuses, waking up in the middle of the night, my heart suddenly freaking out, gastro stuff, nausea, buzzing at the bottom of my feet, kind of a burning, a shortness of breath. My muscles feel like the individual cells are just screaming, just a rolling merry-go-round of all this stew of symptoms. Getting a diagnosis of long COVID took me many, many months. I spent a long time feeling abandoned by the medical community. My doctor just didn't know how to help me, and she tried sending me to every specialist she could think of. I tried to research stuff. I talked to friends who had, a friend who had similar symptoms, and his doctor said he had long COVID, so I thought, well, maybe this is long COVID. There started to be articles in newspapers and, on the radio about, so-and-so has long COVID and it lasts forever and it's the most terrible thing, and this terrible descriptions of what was kind of matching my experience. I kind of watched myself, my ability to be the energetic, dynamic, social, active, athletic person that I am in the world erode over each passing week. I felt really isolated and increasingly fearful that I would never get back to the life that I had enjoyed. Over time, I did have some periods of feeling like there was progress. And I published an essay for the CBC, my employer, where I had not been able to work, and described what long COVID was like. I wanted listeners from the radio to understand, and I wanted people who knew somebody going through something similar and didn't understand it to see a story that would validate and perhaps partly explain their experiences. Lucky for me, Dr. Kieran Quinn at Mount Sinai read that essay and connected with me and said, I have a clinical trial that I'm starting and maybe you could be part of it.
The RECLAIM trial is one of the world's first clinical trials that is trying to discover new treatments for long COVID. It's a type of trial called a platform trial, which just means that we test multiple different drugs at the same time so that it accelerates the ability to discover new treatments for long COVID. There are multiple different sites in Ontario, in Quebec, and across Canada. And so far, we've enrolled just over 360 people with long COVID in the trial. And we're aiming to get about 1,000 people to be able to answer the question definitively whether these two treatments work or don't work to make people feel better.
Dr. Quinn's clinical trial that I did for 2 months gave me a little bit of hope because I knew it had helped some other people. It didn't help me. But Dr. Quinn himself helped me in immeasurable ways. It was like I'd found the island in the sea of confusion, and I'd finally arrived at this island. He didn't have a cure for me. He didn't have a pill I could take that would make it all go away, but he had empathy, he had understanding, he had a frame of reference. I remember him saying to me, long COVID, we don't understand how it works. This is what we're doing. We're trying to learn and trying to understand. So we have to explore and try things, and if they lead to answers, there's the magic. I'm not just 100% better. I feel like I'm 1,000% better. Back to my old self, kicking out my heels with energy, so I can do everything. I ride my spin bike and sweat hard and lift weights and all the things that make me feel strong and active. I sing in my band that I wasn't able to sing with for 2 years, and I'm back singing my heart out until the wee hours of the night. I do whatever I feel I want to do. I have a full and vibrant life.
It's people like Gill who are suffering with long COVID that inspire us to try to work harder to make things better. And it's stories like she tells us that a certain treatment might have worked for her that raise our interest and say, well, if it works for her, maybe it will work for others. But we need to study that properly to prove whether it does or doesn't. And that's where research comes in. It's a very careful and methodical process that at the end of the day will tell us this will or will not work for people. We hope to make Mount Sinai and Sinai Health a world hub of expertise in clinical trials in complex problems that general internists like myself and others face. And we need to accelerate that process. And that's where support is desperately needed.
I think it's really dangerous to let the assumption that long COVID is a permanent life-altering condition to be out there in the world. Long COVID is something you can get better from. We have to research it, we have to understand more about it, we have to find the right ways to help everybody get their hope back and get back on the path of living. We have to figure that out and develop the medical knowledge and expertise to support them and to get them better.